welcome to Teach, the channel where we talk about all things teaching. And I want to welcome all of you back. It's been quite a while since we've posted our last video. I believe it was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So a lot has happened since then. A lot of work things, online teaching things. We went to Japan in the meantime as well. But we're back and we are committed to bringing you some more interviews, speaking with teachers that are currently teaching online. I'm specifically trying to get a few teachers on this platform to share their stories, specifically those that are new to online teaching. I get a lot of people contact me on a weekly basis asking me, does this still work? Is this still a viable option for people to consider, especially those in South Africa? And as I've been saying for many months and many years, I believe that for us as South Africans, this presents a very unique opportunity for you to earn a good and sustainable income. And so we want to use this platform to just share a few more of those stories. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we will be having quite a few teachers on here to share their stories to inspire you. And also for those who are already teaching and have been teaching online for quite a while. We're hoping that this platform would also be a space where you can get inspired, you can get some ideas. We want to also share some content for those people who are already online ESL veterans, if I can put it that way. And so in the past, we've done several interviews relating to the tax system in South Africa and how you as an online teacher should navigate your way through filing your tax returns and things like that. We've had some very qualified people on here talking about some teaching strategies, talking about student retention. From time to time, we share teaching opportunities, schools that we know are currently hiring new teachers. We've spoken to them. And so we want to make sure we bring you very valuable content on this specific channel. And so if you are new here, you haven't subscribed yet, or if you're watching this on Facebook, you're welcome to scan the QR code that's on screen right now that will take you to our Facebook page. And from there on, you'd be able to be redirected to our YouTube channel as well, where you can subscribe and just consume the content that we've put out so far. We're a very, very small channel, but we've got quite a good track record in terms of training new teachers and getting them started as online teachers. And so today's session will be with a teacher that has recently gone through our training programs. I believe that she finished her training, was it, I believe, at the end of March or something like that. So I think it's probably about 4 months or so ago. And she actually got started quite quickly. Actually, yesterday I was looking on my chat history with her, and I think it was about 3 weeks after she completed her training that she actually sent me a message that she completed her first tri lesson. So without further ado, I want to welcome Dianne on screen. Dianne, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Xander, and you?
I'm good. I'm anticipating spring. I'm tired of the winter. I'm
Oh,
over
yes,
it. So obviously working from home, it makes it a bit easier, but yeah,
yes,
no, I
yeah,
really want the summer to come. So
yes,
yeah, again, thanks so much for taking the time to share your story. Again, we don't expect you to be an expert in the field yet, but I've found these stories of teachers that have recently gotten into the world of online teaching to be really helpful and really inspiring for people who want to launch their online teaching careers in 2024 or the years to come. So we're just going to basically have a very informal conversation today. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just to get you talking about your experience and your stories. And for those watching, whether you're watching live right now or you're watching the recording, feel free to post your questions in the chat. We would be happy to address them. And even if you have questions for Dianne about her experience as a brand new teacher into this game, feel free. Nothing is off limits. So I guess a good starting point for us, Dianne, would be tell us maybe a bit more about your life, your career before you got into online teaching.
Yes, sure. Thank you for having. So I come from a corporate environment and I was working for a media company for over 20 years. And I started off in the call center. I did not have any formal qualification, but I started off in the call center. I was in the sales department, then moved on to customer services, and then to team leader, to supervisor. And because my main focus at the time was on my family and raising my kids, so I did not really have time or yes, ways to think of building a career. So that was my life. And I worked in this at the same company for over 20 years. I eventually moved over to the accounts department. But before the accounts department, I did some coaching and mentoring for the call center team. And as the new staff members came in, I trained and upskilled them as to how to handle calls and how to deal with customers, and basically taught them basic customer services skills. And then as time went on, well, we don't get any younger. And so the kids grew up, they have their own lives. And I thought, you know what, this is not where I want to be. I really don't want to retire from this. There's so much more out there. And because my daughter was looking for something in the meantime, and a friend of mine, or an ex colleague, a former colleague of mine, suggested, why don't you let it do online teaching? Because his son registered through OVC and eTEFL, well, and he's now in Thailand. And so this was actually for my daughter. And then I decided, but hey, wait, give it a, give it a chance. You don't know where it might take you. And wow, yes, it's yeah, 2 years later, it's the best move, the best ever. It wasn't all moonshine and red roses, though, I must say. With it came a whole lot of hard work, a whole lot of sacrifices, putting in long hours, and but it is amazing. It's an amazing journey. You know yourself with the mentorship program. I was very shy. I was very scared. It is nothing compared to what I come from. It's a total different career path, and but it is amazing. And with your guidance, yes, thank you, thank you.
You're
Um,
more than welcome.
yes,
Thank you
so
for the
here I
kind
am.
words. When you were speaking about the call center experience, I immediately
Yes,
went back. I remember the session we had where we were looking at your resume and go, how are we going to word this experience? Because there's a lot of
yes,
relevant experience in that we were
yes,
able to sort of just reword a little bit in your resume in order to help
yes,
you find a job. But I guess my question is,
yes.
when you started entertaining this idea of becoming an online teacher, um, did you have any thoughts of how the heck is my previous work experience in any way relevant to this industry of online teaching? Were you doubtful at all whether it would work because of your background?
Um, in a way, I thought, I can do this. I know how to teach people. I can communicate. I know how to deal with people from different backgrounds, coming from different setups. And I thought, I'm a people's person. I can do this. Um, but then I think what I did was I just resigned instantly because I was so desperate to get out of the situation that I was in. I wasn't very happy in my job at the time. And I was supposed to maybe give it some time, to do proper research and to look into it deeper, but I didn't. And then I had a bit of a bad patch where I lacked motivation. And I thought, oh, what have I done? But as soon as I reached that point, um, then someone suggested, why don't you try Native Camp, just so that you can get the feel of online teaching and see if this is what you want to do, if you can do this. And I don't regret it because I started on Native Camp, and that was just amazing. And then I realized this is definitely where I want to be. And then I finished my eTEFL certification. It took me a little bit longer than expected, and I was a bit hesitant. It looked a bit bleak in the beginning, but it picked up. Really, it picked up. And then after completing the mentorship program, when you guided me into how to do things and what approach to take, I was very, very positive. And yes, so it was just an amazing experience. It still is an amazing journey. And there's so much to learn and so many people to meet. And I'm ever grateful for you. Really, I am.
Well, I'm glad that our programs and trainings are working, and these stories really encourage me
Definitely.
as well. So you mentioned you actually quit your previous job to start
Yes.
online.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yes,
you're
I
doing it
did.
full time. You're doing it full time right now.
Yes, I am. I started off with Native Camp last year in November, and I thought, let me get some experience, let me gain some experience and just get the feel of stuff. And it was hard work because, as you know, you have to build a momentum, right? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes hard work, long hours, and then you start getting your regulars. For me, that was an awesome start because I could make an income, I could earn an income whilst gaining experience. Then I registered on Preply, but I thought, let me not um, put the application through because I wanted, I don't know if you can remember, I spoke to you about it and I said, Sander, I
Yeah.
have got my profile, it's ready, but I don't think it's ready. I need your help. And then you said, no, hold on to that and submit it after the mentorship program. I don't have regrets
Yeah.
because we finished our mentorship program, I think, in March.
Mhm.
And then in April, I still tried to work on my profile. And then I submitted it beginning May. It went live. And I think 2, 3 days thereafter, I got my first trial. And
Crazy.
things really started happening in the third week of June. And it's just filling up. It's just filling up. So,
That's
yes.
crazy. That's probably one of the quickest sort of timings we've had from someone's profile and Preply going active and literally them getting their first student. So that is absolutely amazing. So tell me a little bit about, are you still teaching with Native Camp? What's sort of the distribution of hours you teach between all the different platforms and schools that you work for?
It was a bit difficult to find the balance, especially now that Preply is really, really picking up and my calendar is really getting busy. So, with Native Camp, because of the 7 hour difference, I try and be on that platform, say from about 11 p.m. South African time till about 2 a.m. Sometimes it's difficult because it's so easy to get burned out in this
Yeah.
industry if you don't manage your time well, right? And I had to find the balance. So now, since Preply is picking up, I try and do Native Camp over the weekend. But now I get bookings on Native Camp, and I have to really try and avoid the double bookings because I found myself in a tough position where I had a Native Camp booking and a Preply booking, and I had to cancel one of
Mhm.
them. And it's not good. You know yourself that it's not, cancellations are really not good on your profile.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm still in, I'm trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to avoid getting burned out. But sometimes it's just, it's like, I can't say it's an addiction. You want to be online, but you don't have the energy. You want to be there, but yes, you have to rest as well.
Yeah.
So yes, I try to balance. And then on Preply, I opened my calendar for a certain time period, but now I have students that really ask me, please, can you open a slot for that time period? And I find myself having lessons at 10 o'clock at night sometimes,
Wow.
but it's
Okay.
good.
Well,
Yes,
so what hours do you mostly teach right now? Is it during daytime, with the
yes,
exception of the
yes,
late evening lessons?
yes,
Okay. Okay,
yes,
perfect. And
yes.
how many hours on average do you teach per day at the moment?
Huh. Maybe five.
Hmm.
5, yes. You can say plus minus 5, 6.
Yeah. I just had a look at your Preply profile. I see you have 12 active students. One thing
Yes.
that I want to strongly encourage you to do is you are charging too little for your lessons. Please increase your price.
I don't
You
know
are
how to yet. I don't
you
know
are,
how
well, we can have a conversation. I'll text you, I'll WhatsApp you to
to.
explain that.
Okay.
But
Yes.
definitely, I mean, I normally
Thank you.
recommend to people when you're on Preply, once you get your first three students, then you need to increase your price by about $2 or $3 per hour
Okay.
until you get your next few students, and then you keep increasing it gradually. You will find
Yes.
on Preply there's sort of a cap where if you go over that hourly rate, your trial lessons tend to really drop. But if you've been able to build up quite a strong base of students, that shouldn't necessarily be such a big problem. Um, I want to maybe ask you, once you started teaching, whether that was with Native Camp or on Preply, share
Oh.
some of your first impressions of the industry, the good and the bad.
Hmm. On native camp, they mostly have what they call sudden lessons, so sudden classes. So, as a new teacher, when you start teaching on native camp and you don't have any students and you don't have a rating, it takes a while to build. To, to build a student base and to get to building a rating so that students can see you and students can recognize you. And
Mhm.
that was very, very challenging for me in the beginning. And what they did was they gave me a free tag for the first 2 weeks, and I could get bookings at a discounted rate to the students. And that sort of gave me a boost where I could really show them what I have to offer and show them my teaching style. Even with Native Camp, they have all their textbooks and the lessons are scripted, but if the students like your approach, if they like the way you teach and the way you speak to them, then yes, so then that helps a lot to build yourself that student base, and that is what helped me a lot. It took a while though. It took me about 2-3 months to build that regular student base, but I
Yeah,
have that. I found that at times my ratings were dropping, but it soon picked up again. So, which is a good thing.
yeah,
On Preply, it's a total different ball game. I love it so much more. On Native Camp, that gave the opportunity to teach all levels, including children as well.
yeah,
Um, Business English, grammar, pronunciation. That was the benefit and the positives on Native Camp. On Preply, I love Preply because most of my students are business students, which I absolutely love, and I'm thinking of making that my niche. And but I also my goal is actually to get my IELTS certification through you, because I would really like to help students with exam preparation. I was actually thinking I want to do that first before I increase my rate, but we will talk on WhatsApp afterwards, and you can guide me through that.
for sure.
Yes,
100%. So, the students you teach on Native Camp, are they mostly
yes.
kids, or it's a mix of kids and adults?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of children and adults, depending on what time of the day I log on. There are times when I find this time of the day I get mostly children, young learners, or teenagers, and at a certain time I find mostly adults. And then I have my regulars that they know what time I am online, and if they
Yeah.
don't find me online, then they will book a lesson with me. So yes.
And Preply, I assume, is mostly adults.
Mostly, I haven't had a young learner on Preply as yet. Mostly adults and mostly business English. Yes.
Yeah. And you said that where you are right now, you have an idea to sort of lean more into maybe niching in business English later on.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yes.
It's a lot of fun. I'm there with you.
Thank
I
you.
had no idea or no desire to teach kids. I still don't have. I have some exceptions where I do teach them, but they are
Yes.
generally they're not 6, 7, 8 years old. They're a little bit older, which makes it a lot
Okay.
easier. But I really enjoy business English. I think that's something that I've and exam preparation is if you like a sort of a structured approach
Yes.
to something, you like guiding people through that. Exam
Mm,
prep is great, and obviously your earning potential with exam preparation is also much higher as well. So I think the IELTS
great.
would be a very nice addition, even to your profile. So maybe starting to wrap up, some of the, so I mean, you've already come a super long way. The fact that you've already quit your job, we have so many teachers who sort of start out teaching part time until they've sort
Mm,
of reached the cap of additional hours, then they make the decision to quit their job. But you went cold turkey, as did
yes.
I, which is brave, and it's not easy. But there's something about it that really it forces you to say this now has to work, which you have obviously made it work. What are some of your next goals that you would like to achieve as an online teacher? Let's say within the next 6 to 12 months.
Okay, like I said, I would really like to get my certification in ALS so that I can help students with exam preparation. And then I would really, really like to dig deep into a business English, because that is what I would really like to make my main focus. Where I would like to put my main focus is teaching business English and exam preparation. But then my long-term goal is that I would like to complete my bachelor's in the next few years because I want to teach English in Costa Rica for 2 years. Yes.
Wow.
So
Oh,
my goal is in 5 years' time. That is what I would like to do.
wow.
That's the big
Great.
one. Yes.
Have you started your bachelor's yet?
Next year, yes. When
Next
when
year.
the new academic year starts, yes. At
Okay.
the age
And
of 52.
what's that?
At the age of 52.
That is impressive. I'm 33 and I don't have capacity for another qualification. I'm done. But who knows? Maybe
Yes,
later on in life it will happen. Um, and so you said you want to finish your bachelor's, go
yes,
teach in Costa Rica, and obviously online teaching is a brilliant way for you to sort of sustain yourself, gain very valuable experience until you reach that. But even when you are there, it's going to be, I mean, if you have, let's say, a part-time job and you want to supplement your income, that's the great thing about online teaching is you can literally
yes,
do it from anywhere, which is absolutely great. So Dianne, maybe a final question, right?
yes,
There are people watching this recording, listening to your story, going, hmm, I'm around my 50s, maybe older, maybe younger. I'm not happy with my job.
yes.
I want to make a clean break from my position, but what are my options? And they're considering online teaching, but they're terrified, which I think you can relate to absolutely. What would be your encouragement or advice to people watching that?
I would say dig in, dive in, and work hard and stay focused on your goal. It's not going to be easy. Be willing to put in the long hours, be willing to make sacrifices, but at the end, it will all be worth it. And once you reach the high and you look back, you will have that feeling of a satisfaction and a good feeling of achievement. It is a good industry, yes, it is competitive, but if you are willing to make the sacrifices, put in the hard work, um, believe me, it does pay off. Really, it does. And it is a good industry. I think that with anything and everything else, there is competition out there in everything. It
Yeah,
just depends on you as a person. If it
yeah,
is what you really want, and you can make it work. I told you, Xander, this is what I did. I have to make this work. And yes, I am making it work, and it's amazing. So, and
exactly.
that is
And
my advice.
I know there are so many people that's going to see this that are going to go, "Wow, I wonder what it looks like on that side." I've seen so many people come from the side of, "I'm terrified. I'm not sure if this is going to work." go all the way over to where you are at right now, and you're on the other side, and you probably vividly remember all the emotions you had before you made this huge sacrifice. And there are so many people that I talk to daily that have that fear. And obviously, we can approach it in different ways. Some of us will go full blown, quit your job, all in. Some other people would start gradually. And there's no right or wrong way, whatever you feel comfortable with, and also depending on
Yes.
your situation. But with that said, I wanna say to our viewers, if you maybe want to connect with Dianne, maybe you are in a similar position, or you literally just want someone to talk you through all the technicalities and the emotions behind making a career change at your point in life, feel free to reach out to us. I would put you in contact with Dianne. It really helps, and this is something that really played a big role even in my journey, is the ability to speak to someone
Yes.
who did it, and who did it recently, really helped me just to make that decision to take the leap and get into online teaching. So if that's what you need, or maybe if you're considering taking an online TEFL course, feel free to reach out to us, visit our website, send me an email. We'd be happy to assist you along this journey you are going on. So that's it for today. Dianne, thanks so much once again for your time today. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me, Sander. Thank you.
Are you done teaching for today, or you still have some
No,
lessons?
I still have some.
Well, best of luck for your
Thank you.
lessons. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll definitely chat more on WhatsApp afterwards about just
Good.
increasing the rate and taking the next step.
Thank you
But thank
so much. Thank
you.
you.
Bye, Dianne. Great, everyone. Thanks so much for watching today. For those watching the recording, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this. Feel free to reach out to us at any given moment. In the coming weeks, we'll definitely have some more guests on the show to share more inspiring stories with you. But again, if you need any help, you're thinking about taking up online teaching, my email address is on the screen. Feel free to send me an email. Our website is also on the screen. You can scan the QR code to follow us on social media, and we'll